Not by me. But not even by his dad, but other people. So we're glad to have with us this evening the Honorable Walter Smith II. And that's two I's together, capital, instead of spelling the word second. And he's running for House of Representatives District 61. There's 3 people in that race. He happens to be in one of them. Miss Diane Hart is out of town because her granddaughter is graduating. And so we're glad to know that and all. And of course, the other candidate, all the candidates were extending an invitation, and we're gonna bring them back on a 2-hour show. Walter Smith II.
Yes.
He's on the Latino Barrio Commission.
Barrio Latino.
Well, that other part of it too. And that's unusual for a brother to be on the commission that actually has the power to figure out how the building's gonna look in Ybor City and all. One of the things that he's also involved with is in the environment. Now, when I ran for city council in 1991, a brother mentioned the environment. They said, hey, we can't elect him, even though they were dumping all the stuff in our community. So he's got that background. Now, you got in, initially you wasn't gonna get in, you got in. Tell us, why would a nice looking guy, professional experiences that you got, good brother, why would you want to mess up that smile by running for office? Because when you run for office, your demeanor can change in a hurry. Tell us who you are and why you run.
It could.
All right. Talk about yourself and give me 3 reasons why you want to win District 61.
You know, thank you very much for the opportunity. I appreciate it. And that's a very good question. Firstly, I am a civil and environmental engineer, and I have experience in working with, actually being a teacher in Hillsborough County Schools. And I sit on several boards, including the Barrio Latino Commission and the CRA Community Advisory Council for West Tampa, and I sit also as a member of the board of directors for the CDC of West Tampa. Now, quite a few things have happened and did happen prior to my making the decision to actually run. One of those things was that as I was teaching, which I write curriculum and teach courses, I've been doing it for 16 years with respect to non-traditional types of training that I felt needed to be done in the community, because I was seeing too many situations where, this will be the first answer for you, too many situations where you have people who were out of jobs. And the reason they were out of jobs was because they literally did not have any credentials, number one. Number two, the reason was because they had background challenges. That was tough. And so I partnered with a couple of people throughout the community in order to do the types of training that needed to be done and write the type of curriculum that needed to be had in order to help to transform the lives of several people, several hundred people, nearly 1,000 have passed through my classrooms. And they all have in some way or other been hired on and had jobs. I've even had people who were 5 years in prison just getting out, coming to my classroom, making $18 an hour at the port. So that's transforming lives is one reason. Number two, we have development issues that I was very well aware of. And those issues took place primarily in the black community. And when I saw the devastation that continued to happen in our communities and still exists in our communities, they need to be addressed. And as a civil engineer that practices environmental engineering, the issues that surround development are issues that I was and am still very much well equipped to deal with. One of the things that you're going to need in the legislature is someone who recognizes those issues with respect to education, curriculum writing, preparation. Someone who's been in the classroom as a teacher, someone who has been an engineer, who's engineered things, who has helped people with their businesses in terms of being able to set up and dealing with issues of land use throughout the community. When you start dealing with the issue of growth and development in our communities, outreach was the third issue that I felt we were really sorely lacking. Because I feel that, and we still lack, outreach. I feel that it is necessary for us to recognize that if you are a legislator, your job does not end after those few months in Tallahassee. Your job is not just in Tallahassee, in the capital. Your job is in the community for which you should have been working in, for which you should have your finger on the pulse of. And you should have been working with some people to know what the situations are, what the current circumstances are, and how to repair those circumstances. And so I've been doing this for 16 years straight, non-stop, as an engineer, as a grant director helping to redevelop West Tampa, which I think everybody here knows the severity of the situation with development there in West Tampa and how critical it is. Dealing with development in East Tampa, talking about business development, dealing with engineering and environmental justice. I can tell you horror stories right now of things that are going on right now throughout Tampa, in our little enclaves of Tampa, like West Tampa, East Ybor, and so forth, because I've worked on those things.
That's something. Isn't that something? And Corey, it fits right into the new chamber's mission and motto. We gotta bring up people that understand the importance of environmental injustices and growth and development. And I'm glad you mentioned that. Now, from a business executive director standpoint, he probably wants to know, how do you work with up-and-coming chambers that's involving millennials? Because, you know, some of us, we get after a certain age, we think we know it all, and we don't include the younger set. I mean, I'm serious when I say that. So how do you convince them that this young man in the new up-and-coming chamber gonna really have a seat at your table?
You know, one of the things that I have always been is accessible. Anybody who knows me knows they can pick up the phone and call me at any time. And I very rarely say no to anybody. I'm a lot like my father, Dr. Walter Smith. Everybody knows you call Doc, he'll be there. Well, he trained me that way, and he taught me how to be accessible. One of the things that, to answer your question specifically about how business should be done, and how you would have a seat at the table, so to speak, is outreach. And when I go back to the issue of outreach, we are sorely lacking it. There are so many people who are in business and trying to, in our age group, in our generation, Corey, that we know need to have assistance and understanding how things are done. There's types of certifications that need to be had in order to be successful in the District 61. I've been trained by the best. Mr. Joe Robinson, one of my mentors, engineering and business. Thomas Huggins, people like that. Those are my mentors coming up.
And speaking of that, we're all blessed to have a special guest here today. Do you want to introduce your special guest we have here today before we wrap it up?
I do. He has worked with me several times. He's my cousin, actually, and he's worked with me several times throughout the years. We actually did, one of the biggest things we ever did together was we actually worked with, actually helped to develop the park in East Ybor that sits on the corner of 12th Avenue and 26th Street. And he came to town when we were doing the community cleanup early on in my career. And Judge Greg Mathis, who is my second cousin, has been very instrumental also. He's one of my mentors. It trained me in dealing with community development, mentoring, and significant and effective mentoring, and all those things that we need to have for community growth.
And he's here?
He's here.
And you know what, Judge? What he has done has effectively taken me out of people asking for my autograph. But that's okay. We're glad to have you, sir. You've been listening for a while. I know you was out there. What's your take on our forum with our gracious host, the Jazz House, and the new chamber coming up at WTMP? You think we're on the right road?
I think this is great. You know, I've been in electoral politics all my adult life here in Florida and in Detroit, where I'm from, and this is the first time I've seen a jazz club hold such a distinguished forum, and I thank God that you have such a group here, and you all are very distinguished with a very distinguished platform. Thank you.
Well, that's good. The Jazz House, because of that compliment, that means I get a second free drink. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Corey, you have anything from our man here?
Yes, sir. For those who don't know this young man, just tell them a little bit about, because everyone in the room, although they may have seen the names on buildings and things like that, tell them who you are as a person.
On buildings. Yeah, that's right. That was a shock, right? I forgot about that. I am a graduate of Florida A&M University. My father is the 7th president of Florida A&M University. My mother is a local attorney, Geraldine Williams. And my mother's from Ybor City. My dad's from West Tampa. My family's been here in this city for nearly 100 years. Actually, 100 years, a little over 100. And I can tell you right now that a lot of the training, my mentality, and how I do things is based off of all those different values that my parents taught me. I've traveled the world. I've gone to school in the Republic of South Africa. I worked in the coal mines there in South Africa, learning risk management. My engineering studies were done there, and I came back to complete my engineering studies at Florida A&M University. I'm a rapper.
And he speaks how many languages?
I speak 3 languages, Zulu and Spanish and English.
Zulu.
Thank
Thank you for that, Corey. And one of the things that I like about him is that, and I like all the candidates because they all bring good gifts to the table, is that he gets it how we have to bring in fresh ideas. We have to bring in the millenniums and all. And the other thing that we hope we get out of all these forums, one of the up and coming fastest group in Hillsborough County is the Black LGBT population. And they got to stop hiding behind, they got to come out, and we need them to vote. And you understand there's some sharp people, business people. Black LGBT has a lot of sharp business entrepreneurs